So you know that you have loads of potential to become an incredible footballer, but for whatever reason, you're not exactly tapping into it just yet. Well, in this video, we're going to be going over some of the reasons why you're probably not tapping into your potential. And we're also going to be going over some of the ways you can start tapping into your potential as a footballer. Hey, what's up guys? It's Dave here from SimplySoccer, where we're working to improve your game and help you to stand out on the pitch. And on this channel, we release daily soccer tip, technique, and training videos, all designed to help you do just that. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and that bell icon so you don't miss any new videos or live streams that we do. So I know there are a lot of frustrated players out there who are not seeing results or progress in their game, and they're either confused to why or, just like I said, simply frustrated, and they don't know what to do in order to start tapping more into their potential and seeing some actual results. So I'm going to give you 4 ideas that can help you start improving more and tapping into your potential, and that you can start using immediately in order to see more results from your training. First idea is selected discipline or focus. See, I think one of the biggest issues when it comes to improvement as a footballer, or your improvement as a footballer, or improvement in general, is you fall into a trap that I fall into all the time, or used to fall into all the time at least, which is trying to do too much at once. It's focusing on so many areas at once that you don't give each area the time that it needs, and therefore you don't really improve in any area. It's like that famous saying goes, which says if you chase 2 rabbits, you end up catching neither. Now that's not verbatim how the quote goes, but it's something of that nature. And what it's saying is when you spread your focus too thin, you end up not getting results in either area. While if you focus and you have selected discipline on a singular thing or on a few really narrow focus, you will start to see more results in those areas. So my question for you is, what is your selected discipline? What is the discipline you want to build? What is the area of your game where if you worked on that area exclusively, or maybe not exclusively, but mainly, that it would have the biggest impact on you as a player? Really think about it. What is that area of your game that if you were to work really hard at this area, maintain consistency, and really work at it, that it would have the biggest impact on your overall game? Now, this is going to be different per player, but there are definitely some key areas that you can work on which will have the most impact on your game. Sure, you could do a bunch of different things, you'll probably see some results, but if you really want to see huge results, what is the one area that should be prioritized over other areas? Now, once you have your selected discipline, it's not just enough to know what it is that you're going to be practicing. Now you need to do the second idea, which is consistency. Now, this is something I go over all the time, and with good reason, because without consistency, it doesn't matter what it is you're trying to develop, it doesn't matter what you're trying to get good at, you won't get good at that thing if you are not consistent. You know, you can't just go to the gym a handful of times and expect to have results. You can't just run on the treadmill every now and then and expect to get fit. You can't just go to the football pitch and kick a ball around randomly, a little bit and expect results. It's not enough. What you really need are powerful habits that are going to lead you to success or becoming a better player. And the way to develop habits is through consistency. So if we're taking the gym again, for example, someone who goes to the gym almost religiously does that because through consistency, through their discipline, they developed a habit. So it's become much easier for them to go to the gym. And just by developing that one habit, they have created this powerful thing that has impacted their life in a huge way. And you can do the same thing with certain practices in football. So once you have your selected discipline, really commit to being consistent with it and developing into a habit. Now, this will be difficult at first because when you try and develop a new behavior or a new habit, there will be some resistance to it. But you need to discipline yourself long enough to develop the habit. And once you have made it a habit, it becomes a lot easier. And just think, what is a powerful habit you could create? What is a powerful practice that if you did it all the time, almost without thinking, you create a habit out of it, would impact you in the biggest way? Really think about it. Brainstorm. What would impact you in the best, most positive way if you were to create a habit? or a habit out of that one thing. Okay, and we're moving on to the next idea. So by now, in this part of the process, you have your selected discipline. So the area, or maybe you've selected a couple of areas that you're gonna really focus on. You've developed the consistency, which means you've created a habit. Now it's time, if you hit a plateau, which you might, to experiment a little bit. See, one of the things is we stick to the same routine even as we're plateauing, wondering why we're not getting any better. This is where you need to try some new things and try some new ideas in that area. Because if you're plateauing and you're not seeing any results and you're doing the same thing over and over again, mere consistency isn't going to be enough. You need to try new things, try new ideas to break that plateau. Now, the idea isn't to experiment for the sake of experimenting. You're not doing this because you love experimenting. You're doing this so you can find a better method to get you to the results or to the level that you want to get to. So let's say you've capped out right here doing the routine you're doing now, and you need to get to here. Well, now you need to find your way here through experimentation. Let's take working out again as an example. Maybe you've been doing the same workout routine for a few months and you're noticing that you've plateaued. You're not getting any stronger. You're basically just maintaining at this point. Well, now you need to change up your workout routine in order to get to that next level. So you need to do some experimentation. So this is a little later on in the process. You need to get those first two steps: discipline, selected discipline, which is focus, and consistency, which develops the habit, down first. But once you have those two developed, then you need to try and get to that next level through experimenting, through changing things up, through more of a challenge or whatever it is you need to get to that next level. All right, and number 4 is one you've probably heard a million times, but I need to repeat it here, and it's persevere. Keep going. There are going to be good days, there are going to be bad days, there are going to be days where you literally think that you've been ground into the dirt, where you've just had the toughest day, it's so hard to get through things, but you need to keep going anyway. You ruin all your progress if you quit, if you break the chain, if you stop doing what you're doing. Really keep that end goal in mind. Remember what you're working towards. Remember and visualize what it is you're trying to become whenever you feel like quitting. Because, one of the things I think a lot of players need to know is it takes time. It takes incremental integrity. You should be doing everything you can to speed up the process. Creating powerful habits is one of those. Having focus and selected discipline is one of those ways. But still recognize, if you want amazing results, if you want to see, incredible improvements, it does take time. But it takes, time of you doing things consistently, if that makes sense. It's not just gonna be like, oh, 3 months has passed and I'm better. It'll take 3 months of hard work, and it could take even longer. But the point is, you have to persevere. You have to keep going. You have to keep putting the work in, day out. You have to stick to that one area of focus that you're focusing on every single day. You have to commit to it. And if you give up, you ruin that progress. You won't see results. And this is a very obvious one, but I'll get comments from players saying, oh, a week has passed and I've been working on this. I'm not really that much better. Well, that's because only a week has passed. You have to commit to something a little longer, probably a lot longer actually than a week, in order to see results. Now, one of the reasons we do 30-day challenges is because you can start getting a taste of those results in 30 days if you stick to something every single day. That's why when we do 30-day challenges, we only do them in one area. We don't do, okay, we're gonna do the dribbling, ball control, shooting, skill move challenge this month. No, we pick one. We do, okay, we're focusing on ball control this month, or shooting, or skill moves, right? Because if we spread our focus too thin, like I went over in the first one, if we don't have a selected discipline, we don't really get much done. But if we focus on one thing, we have narrow focus on a selected discipline for 30 days, you start getting a taste of what consistency and momentum will do for your game in a specific area. So just recognize and just remember to keep going, to persevere. Remember, you're always going to have to change things up. You're always going to have to make adjustments. You're going to have to analyze and reflect upon what you're doing very consistently, very often. Just remember, when you're trying to get to that next level or get better, you have to review what you're doing in order to adjust it, in order to experiment, in order to change things up in the way you need to, in order to make sure you're making the most progress. But just remember, do not give up, because that's the last thing you want to do. And if you really want to tap into your potential, if you really want to see results, giving up is the last thing you should be doing. Again, very obvious, but based on some of the comments I get sometimes, it's something that needs to be said. All right, guys, so let's recap. 1, you want to select your discipline. What is your selected discipline, the area you're going to focus on? You can actually let me know down in the comments if you want. Number 2 is consistency with that selected discipline. So whatever it is, you need to be consistent. Write out a schedule schedule for yourself. Experiment with your schedule until you find something that works for you. So you have your discipline, then you're being consistent with it until you make it into a powerful habit. Just think about it. Someone who has created the habit of going to the gym all the time and has gotten super healthy, super cut or whatever it is they're doing, has changed their life through one powerful habit. Do not underestimate the power of one incredibly powerful habit. That's why I want you to select a discipline, select the area you're going to focus on, and really every single day go at it. So once you've developed that habit and that consistency and you've been doing this for a while, if you hit a plateau, experiment, change things up, add more of a challenge. It's like if you go to the gym and just do the same workouts every single time, you'll get to a certain point where you hit a ceiling and you'll need to adjust. You'll need to lift heavier weights. You'll need to do different exercises, whatever it may be, in order to get to that next level of wherever you want to go. So once you hit that plateau, you have the habit created, start experimenting a little, start looking up new workouts you can do or new drills you can do for football, whatever it may be. And number 4 is just to remember to persevere. This is going to be just as important as in the beginning as it will later along down the line. In the beginning, it will be more difficult to develop the habit. Habits are not that easy to create. They're also not that easy to destroy either, to get rid of. But it's necessary if you want to tap into your potential, if you really want to see improvements in your game. All right, guys, so I hope that has been helpful. I hope you now have a better understanding of what it takes to get better. I know this is more of a general way. Of course, there's more that goes into this, but this is a good little kind of guide for you to get started, select your discipline, turn it into a habit, and go from there. And as you're going on throughout your journey, you'll learn more things that will help contribute to you becoming a better footballer. All right, guys, and like I already mentioned in the comments down below, let me know, what is your selected discipline going to be? What is the one area of your game that if you got really good at it, if you focused on it every single day more than other areas, would have a huge impact? Pick the area that you think will have the biggest impact on your game if you were to focus on it. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you share this video with a friend or a teammate. You like it, and you sub if you're new to Simply Soccer. I will have 2 videos come across the screen so you can continue watching and continue learning, and we will have a new video out tomorrow at 5 p.m. so don't miss out. Remember, this is Simply Soccer, where our goal is to help you improve your game and to also stand out on the pitch when you're playing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.